In his latest flick, Terrence co-stars with Jodie Foster, and here's Tim Estilos with his talk with Terrence. Tim?
Sarah, when you sit down with Terrence Howard, one thing you can be certain of is that you won't get an interview full of the usual rehearsed answers that some actors give. Well, that was definitely the case when I met with Terrence to talk about his current film, The Brave One. And as I found out, this is one actor who is as riveting in real life as he is on screen. Here's your backstage pass with Terrence.
It is astonishing to find that inside you there is a stranger. I killed a man tonight.
In the new film, The Brave One, Jodie Foster plays Erica Bain, a victim turned vigilante after she and her fiancé are brutally attacked.
Let's go over here. You feeling us now, baby? Say cheese!
Soon after this vicious assault, Foster buys a gun and begins to track down her attackers. But it's actor Terrence Howard, as the detective investigating the killings, who gives another standout performance.
Turns out there was a woman on the car. Now, all this time we've been looking for a man with a gun. It was a woman with a grudge.
Terrence, what I found interesting about this film is that not only does Jodie's character's moral compass get a bit cloudy, but yours as well as this film evolves, right?
What's interesting, hers becomes cloudy after dealing with tragedy, but my character had been lost in that dilemma of who he is and who he is supposed to be for a long period of time. Remember, he had been trying to catch the criminal that she ends up killing for a long time. It had been a thorn in his side, you know, and a stake in his heart for years. I used to give myself this test. I would ask myself if there was someone that I knew that had committed a crime, would I have the fortitude to put them away?
What kind of someone?
Someone close to me. Like the best friend I could ever hope to have. The letter of the law is not what's important, it's the principle behind it. And that's what he goes in that search for. Can he be a vigilante in his own heart?
When you talk to Terrence Howard, it's no exaggeration to say you'll get far more than a thoughtful answer. When I asked about the relationship between the two main characters in the film, his reply came back as something almost poetic. As this film evolves, you and Jodie form sort of a bond that's not quite romantic, but it certainly is emotional. How would you describe that relationship?
It's like being in love with someone, you know, separated by an ocean before the advent of planes, before the advent of boats. We can hear each other, you know, across the ocean, and the thoughts are carried by the waves, but we know that we shall never be able to reach each other because of that sea of tears that has been cried in our hearts, that, you know, it take thousands of years for the continents to bring us together, and we will be long gone by that time, and that's the tragedy of it.
It's that depth and insight that Howard brings to almost every role he's played. But he got his start on the big screen in the 1995 film, Mr. Holland's Opus.
Listen, Mr. Holland, I work hard. I know how to work hard. I'm just not a school type of person.
Well, which instrument do you think you'd like to play?
Well, I was kind of thinking, like, how about electric guitar?
Well, this is a marching band. The extension cord would kill us. How about the tuba?
Tubas are for fat guys with pimples.
Well, given the time constraints, how do drums strike you?
Drum.
Howard's breakthrough role was his 2005 Oscar-nominated turn as a street hustler with musical dreams in Hustle and Flow.
Look, this is my life, and it's a battle within. I gotta survive, even if I'm sinning to win. And if I show no remorse, I reap the devil's reward. He said he'd give me riches, but I'm looking for more.
Howard again showed his versatility by playing an inspirational inner-city swimming coach in the film Pride.
Because this is our community. This is our house, and it's built on pride, determination, and resilience.
In the film Crash, Howard showed the true depth of his acting skill as a successful black man forced to face the humiliation of racism.
Look, we're sorry, and we would appreciate if you just let us go with a warning, please.
Man's apologizing, Tommy. I think we can let him go.
What I enjoy about your acting is that you're able to convey intensity and compassion and empathy without even saying a word. What is it within your character, within your background, that helps you to tap into that so easily?
It's called a sleepy eye. Keeps you open.
Didn't expect that one.
I've seen a lot in my life. I was quiet when I was a child. You know, I didn't really speak until I was about 3 or 4 years old. I did a lot of watching, and they used to think I was slow. I remember they put me in remedial classes and all of that, you know, because I didn't respond too well in class. But I was more so taking a lot in, and it made me a little more watchful. And then I was deaf when I was 17, 18, well, yeah, 17 through almost up to 19 as a result of an ear infection. It made me watch a lot, and I couldn't hear my own voice, so I didn't speak during that period. So it allowed me to convey through here more than here. And I think people think I'm staring, but I'm really trying to hear again because I forget that I can hear now.
But Terrence finds newfound strength in his next role as a superhero in the highly anticipated Iron Man, based on the popular comic book.
My father was a fan of Iron Man. I was a fan of War Machine. So I was privileged to be that. And I called him and I said, Dad, I was like, Abu, did you know that when you were reading that comic book, that inside your loins was the child that would play, you know, the War Machine, you know, the physical manifestation of it.
And you're having a blast.
Yeah, thank you, man.
What an interesting guy. Howard's next on-screen role will be co-starring alongside Richard Gere in The Hunting Party. Both actors play TV journalists who travel to battle-scarred Bosnia looking to find the world's most wanted war criminal. Sarah?